So, here we have a pair of three-legged sawhorses that I made for a job some years ago. Their main features, they never need shimming to make them sit flat on the floor, and since they have only 3 legs, they don't wobble. The single leg is adjustable for leveling, and they can be taken apart for storage by simply loosening a nut here and removing 2 bolts over here. And when you remove the 2 bolts, the double leg just comes right off. And obviously when you remove the jam nuts here, then the leg comes right out. And you can see a pair of winding sticks that were sitting behind the sawhorses. And these are used to determine exactly when both sawhorses are in the same plane. If you look closely, you can see the red and the white winding sticks sitting on top of the sawhorses. Well, these horses are used as a pair to support components that need to be welded up, as in fabricating a gate and so on. It is important that the fabricated assembly be flat, so the horses need to have their top surfaces perfectly parallel. That is, they must both be in the same plane. The threaded adjustment on the single leg, right here, allows for this. In this application, level is not important, but parallel and in the same plane is. Winding sticks have been around for a long time, but many people outside of the woodworking community may not have seen them. Bob Walsh, a blacksmith in Pepin, Wisconsin, introduced me to them. They are a simple way to make certain that 2 surfaces are in the same plane. Woodworkers use them to tell if a board is flat when they're planing it. To make adjustments in one or the other of the legs, I simply loosen the nut that is right down here that's holding a threaded rod into this piece of 1-inch square tubing, and then just turn the tubing up and down until I get to the height that I want. And once I have that set, then I just snug up the nut and things don't go anywhere. To use the winding sticks, simply set the sawhorses side by side close enough so the winding sticks will fit on them. Lay the white winding stick across the sawhorse at one end, the end towards you is best, and lay the red winding stick across the sawhorses at the other end. Now get down on your hands and knees if necessary, as you see in the video in front of you, so that you can sight right across the 2 sticks. Adjust your eye height so you can see just right across the top of the white winding stick. Then as you move your head up and down slightly, you'll be able to see the red winding stick. And here's my head going up and down. The red one disappears, it comes up. And as you can see a little bit of it on one side. Okay. And what you want to do is to adjust the high leg until you see either an equal amount of red, or by moving your head up and down a little bit, no red at all. Okay, I'm closer. Okay, and now of course I'm moving the camera rather than my head. And I'm pretty close. I'm a little bit high yet. And you can see that's really pretty darn close. All right. You can easily get within 1/64 of dead level with this process. Now for a few dimensions. Obviously you can make these any size you want them. My winding sticks are 38.5 inches long because that's just what I had, and I happen to make them out of 3/4 inch square tubing. Obviously we want really contrasting colors. I picked red and white. The sawhorses themselves are 4 feet long, and the material of the upper support is 2-inch tube, and this is 3/16 wall. Could be anything. The two-legged support is actually made by welding 2 pieces of 1-inch square 1/8 tubing to a piece of 2.5-inch square that telescopes over the 2-inch. And so it was a square. I just cut the top off just a little bit below the 2-inch mark so that these edges wouldn't interfere, and just drilled 3/8 holes here for 3/8/16 bolts to hold them on. The length of the legs, again, they could be anything you want, is about, looks like probably 27.5 inches before I cut the angles, and they're spread apart 18 3/4 inches at the bottom, and held that way with a brace that's 1/4 by 3/4 and 14 inches long. The adjustable end is made out of 1-inch square tubing. Again, could be anything. It's probably 1/8 wall. I took a piece of 3/4 inch square solid, 6 inches long, and I drilled a hole, I think about 3.5 or 4 inches deep in it, and threaded that 1/2-13, and got some 1/2-13 threaded rod that would screw into that. You don't see it on this one, but I drilled a hole in the side and plug welded that square thing in place so that I could run the threaded screw up and down in here. This end, I drilled a 1/2-inch hole 2 inches back from the end for the threaded rod to go in, and the rod is secured with 2 1/2-inch 13 jam nuts. And so I usually leave those tight, and as I mentioned earlier, I make the adjustments by running the leg up and down on the threaded rod and then tighten the nut wherever I need it to be. I also drilled a hole in the top. I don't know if you can see that or not. That is 1 inch in diameter, so that I could get a 3/4 inch socket through there to tighten that nut. They work just fine for me. I don't think I'd really change anything if I were to make more. Thank you for watching.